Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in for a Smackdown recap. Now, the June 6th episode, go home episode of Money in the Bank. Let's just talk about what's happened in this episode of my thoughts and everything. But before I get into that, make sure you guys leave this video a like and continue to help this channel to grow and it beats the YouTube algorithm. And if you are not subscribed, go ahead and click the subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss out on any other videos that I post, football or wrestling related. Let's just get right into it. The show kicked off with Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, Bronson, Reed, and Paul Heyman coming out to the ring and still emphasizing the fact that they are the future of wrestling and things that are going to go on Seth Rollins' accord, the way that Seth Rollins sees the future of the industry. But they were interrupted by Sikoa, JC Matteo, and Jacob Fatu, which I think was a good pairing. And Solo came out to the ring and was like, if you're going to run through somebody, you're going to get everybody out of your way, we're right here. Do something about it. And it led to a big stare down, which a good way to kick off the show. And then the match that came afterwards was after Jimmy Uso came and attacked his former bloodline members or his partners, the Fatu, and mainly Matteo and Solo. And that was a really long match between JC Matteo and Jimmy Uso. And I like JC Matteo's in-ring ability. I don't know too much about JC Matteo, aka people might know him as Jeff Cobb. I don't really know too much about him. I probably have to go back and watch him a little more. But overall, this is such a good match. Such good storytelling in there, where Solo was keep telling Jimmy, if you want to come back, come on home. Y'all keep getting your ass kicked. But at the end of the day, Jacob Fatu went to the apron after Solo went to the apron, distracted the ref, and JC Matteo ended up trying to make a move on Jimmy, but ended up getting out of the way, which enabled Jimmy Uso to pick up the win. And then JC started to blame Jacob Fatu for what happened in the ring. Overall, solid match. I'm interested to see where they're going to take this after Money in the Bank with Jacob Fatu, Jimmy, JC Matteo, Solo. I'm interested to see where all this is going to go after Money in the Bank. But after that, we had the Bakersfield Brawl between Zelina, Vega, and Piper Niven. But before then, Julia was making her sights set on Zelina Vega's United States Championship, and that she really wants a shot at that specific championship. They were backstage before Zelina came out to the ring. Can Zelina get some new theme music? Please? They gave her, I think this is Smackdown Entrance's theme music. Can they give us some new music? Jesus Christ. And then she's taking on Piper Niven. Can they stop with this whole Chelsea Green, Secret Service, Alpha Fire crap against Zelina? I hope this match in particular was the last time that these women go against each other, because I'm tired of seeing it. How many times is she going to have to deal with this Secret Service? But Zelina Vega versus Piper in the street match that came out, of course, without Chelsea Green. There's going to be shenanigans. Of course, Chelsea Green with the broken nose, Alba Fire. But at the end, Julia comes out, attacks the Secret Service with a kendo stick, hits Piper Niven, which enables Zelina to powerbomb her off the rope through the Slim Jim table, which I think the WWE is starting to be live corporate at this point, having a Slim Jim logo on the table. But nonetheless, slams her on the table for the 1, 2, 3, and she gets the win. But Julia attacks Zelina after the match, letting her sights known, letting her presence known that she is coming for the United States Championship on the women's side. Then you have LA Knight come out to cut a promo about the Money in the Bank match, that he's cool with Penta, kind of like Andrade too. Of course, he has his beef with Solo, Logan Americano really has the beef for Seth and Solo at this point. Coming out to say how his third time is a charm of him being in the Money in the Bank ladder match, which I think they will. Go back and watch my Money in the Bank preview. But it led up into his match with Aleister Black, with Aleister Black being frustrated a bit that even though he hit the black mask on Shinsuke, LA Knight scored the win and capitalized on the triple threat rules. Overall, this was a solid match. LA Knight, Aleister Black. I really want to see Aleister Black in a different storyline, a different view. I hope we get that kind of soon. But only for them to be interrupted by Seth Rollins and his crew attacking LA Knight and also attacking Aleister Black. And they kind of teased a Seth Rollins and Aleister Black feud. I actually would love to see that. Somebody different for Seth Rollins to go against some different foe. If it happens to be Aleister Black, another enemy made for Seth Rollins. And a match that I would personally like to see. But nonetheless, you get the spears, you get the Bronson Reed attacks. So he's basically coming after everybody in that match. They're trying to make everybody softer. That way it could be easy for him to maintain Money in the Bank. Then, as Tiffany Stratton was cutting the promo about being champion in a Money in the Bank ladder match, which she happened to cash into acquire the championship that she holds now, was interrupted by Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley was talking about how she hasn't really have to been in the Money in the Bank ladder match because she was champion. And she was talking about how she feels that she knows how it is to be a champion and she really misses that feeling. Then after that, it led into the Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, and Stephanie Vaquer versus Naomi, Roxanne, and Julia 6-woman tag match, which overall ended up being a good match. Of course, you had the back and forths. You had the spots where Mommy was getting all the cheers from the crowd. Of course, you had Devil's Kiss from Stephanie Vaquer. Booker T would be somewhere because he wasn't in the building to see it. But during the match, these women showed their skills. I really liked this match. And then Naomi ended up getting just like, all right, I'm done with this. For Roxanne Perez to end up taking a Riptide for Rhea Ripley to end up winning the match. And the three women, Bliss, Ripley, and Vaquer, end up standing face together in victory. But the bigger prize is Money in the Bank. Then, of course, you have Penta and Andrade versus American Made. And this match was made backstage where Penta and Andrade was getting into a little bit of a backstage tussle with American Made and Chad Gable. So that was made. And then the match was solid. I really like Penta. I like Gable's in-ring ability, but it ended up getting interrupted when Vikingo emerged from ringside, which they have a match of Worlds Collide for the AAA Mega Championship, and interfere with it, but only for Seth Rollins and his crew to get involved afterwards, attacking Andrade and Penta after Penta and Andrade picked up the win after Penta hit the Mexican Destroyer. And this reign of terror from Seth Rollins is going to continue. It continued throughout the entire night. And it just, Paul Heyman was saying, you saw how we were going to do the Roman Reigns. We said what we were going to do with CM Punk, and now it's gone. But I'll leave those thoughts a little bit for my Money in the Bank preview. I'll leave that in the cards. But I just think that they're going so good with this Seth Rollins feud with Angle. I really like where the WWE was going with this. And then the main event was the showdown between John Cena, Logan Paul, and Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, which Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso came out and said the things they had to say about Cody, John Cena, and Logan Paul, only for them to be set up in a trap to be attacked, where Logan Paul came up with the brass knuckles. They hit and attacked both Cody and Jey Uso. And one thing about John Cena's heel turn, I don't like the heel turn, but one thing he can do is cut a damn promo. One thing he can do is cut a promo when he's talking about the last real champion, the future, and right now he's talking about Logan Paul. They both ended the show with them both holding belts. And the reason I say I love the way John Cena can cut a promo, the crowd is screaming, we want truth, we want truth. But he spun that and said, you can't handle the truth. The truth is, I'm the last real champion. He's the real champion. And I loved the way they cut the promos. They kept attacking Jey Uso and Cody after they said what they had to say. And I love John Cena's promo work, even though I don't like his heel turn. I really love his promo work. But that's how the show ended. I think I would give this show probably a 6.5 out of 10. Not really great, but I think it was a little bit better than the last maybe 2 weeks of Friday Night Smackdown, which has kind of been about a dud if we're going to be honest. But it was a good show, solid closing show, and I cannot wait for Money in the Bank. But that's my SmackDown recap, make it a little short and sweet, and I cannot wait for Money in the Bank. I will see you guys in my recap that as well, and I'll catch you guys then. Peace.